can do this.
Yeah, let the trash roll up, and pulled out. I thought, can you imagine what that was felt like when?
Oh, so they throw away garbage?
Yeah, they've already done
Yeah.
that.
No, that's all
Like
right.
that, yeah, they used to use the tractor cooker.
Didn't see, pay attention to the clock.
It's one thing, wear yourself out.
Tim said it was empty.
Yeah.
Good, good. Good.
This must
Bad
be
news,
years
still on
ago, vacuum
time.
cleaners was.
Call meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Luma,
Here.
Fox is absent, Paul, Hudson,
Here.
Nichols,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Walty.
Here. The minutes of the previous meeting were read and approved. So approved.
Oh, sorry.
Where's Gulf Street water?
We have $1,767,954.01 in all funds. And in the general fund, we have $369.43.
Okay, those were read, the motion was made by,
So moved.
seconded by,
Yes.
paid bills is read, presented.
Paul,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walty.
Yes.
Alright, Craig, I guess you're up first.
Yes, basically, Rod, you guys see the little sheet that I gave, it kind of is a breakout of our project to go down to Pearl Street and to go to some catch basins just past Pearl Street and bring storm down, because those catch basins are pretty deteriorated along East Walpole Street. As you guys know, we've talked about this different times, where we're doing loan applications to borrow for water and sewer as a part of this, so you can get low interest loans on those, because we didn't get the CDBG portion with the other thing. Now, we'll hear about the CDBG portion for the other part and for the drainage here in September. So basically, we should know about a month and a half, and then Aaron, me and you kind of talked last time about, we have one OPWC application that you guys already have for for
Ohio Cook, in
Ohio.
that vicinity.
Yep, but we will do another one this coming year to try to get some additional money.
Yep.
And we can use that, so I'll be bringing that to you as well, to try to leverage, and then we'll be able to see. So we'll talk about that, but basically this is where we stand on this one since the CDBG part of it fall now. And Sarah and Aaron kind of going through some of this stuff, and said it makes sense if I brought this to you here tonight and just touch base on it.
Yeah, that way if there's any questions that we may not have thought of, they can throw at you.
Yep.
Just to be clear, Craig, the OWDA water and the wastewater, that can only come out of those funds, that's why there's two of them.
Yeah,
And with that, they require resolutions, is why.
yeah,
there's no-
and I split it pretty much because that gives you guys more flexibility with where the funds are coming from for the loans. Yep, that's why that's split in two.
What's the interest rate on this loan?
3.2, it's written on, right underneath it there, right on top.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, I was just showing, so in the future, you knew where to look for it.
Craig, are there other loans out there that we didn't qualify for? The 0%?
The 0% we would have, there'd have been a bunch of extra hoops, but we would have had to get through some EPA stuff on the front end.
Because I know we had talked at one time about, we didn't qualify for
Well,
some.
that's for if we wanted to do CDBG for grants, not loans.
Mhm.
Right now, with where your water and sewer rates are, you don't qualify for grants based off what your rates are.
Craig, and just because I'm not on the streets committee, and can you explain to me what is going on here? Just in terms of, so the total project for each
So
one.
project's a 1.27.
Right,
Kind of
so
read
we've
ourselves.
gotta get a loan for 30,000. Almost 31,000, is that what it is?
That's
That's loan
what's
payment.
broken out over here in the red, which
That's
is
the
the
loan
payments.
payment.
Yeah. So the black going across spells out all the funding. So you got, out of
Okay.
1.27, you got $500,000 grant funding.
Okay,
We got $500,000 in zero interest loan. I skipped one line there. I should have kept those two together.
okay,
And then I split the loan between water and wastewater. That way you had more flexibility with your funds.
okay, okay, all right, I see now, thank you, I'm
Yep,
sorry.
Yep, no, that's
Having a
no
difficult
problem.
time reading your
No,
project.
no problem,
What's
man.
going on?
Yeah, I always try to set it up so you can read from right to left, but I look at them so often, I think nothing of it. So I have no problem kind of spelling out kind of what it is. So yeah, you can just kind of, we start with the overall and then we work our way right across with the numbers.
And then, Aaron, our first loan payment would be due in 26?
No,
Could be 27.
yeah,
something like
27.
that.
earliest it would be January, probably 1 of 27.
Okay,
Nope, take that back. Could be July 1 of 26.
Hmm.
Yes, and that's what we talked about.
so we would
It's a
be,
matter of, I doubt seriously that we have all the paperwork and everything closed up by the first of the year, and it's usually 6 months after whenever everything's completed.
but we would have to put this in appropriations for 2026 as potential.
We should know before the end of the
Yeah,
year.
we'll know before you're done appropriations.
Okay,
So there'll be another coat of asphalt put on in 2027, then, is that what you're saying here?
Yep.
Okay.
The
so,
only thing that could potentially delay that slightly is we wanna do the farther east end of it. And if we get the other funding set up through the CDBG, which is a part of the storm going out too, we're gonna do another OPWC, we might slide that to the spring.
Ooh.
so,
But I mean, the road's gonna be whole except for the very edges of asphalt
Mhm.
anyway.
so just, will there be, the road, we won't see patches on each side?
Yeah, you'll
There'll
see
be,
it.
there will be until 2027 when we get the final. So it's not good, so the residents need to know, it's not gonna look finished.
No, the finished blacktop portion will happen in 27 because we're taking advantage of what
Right.
ODOT.
Right, no, I understand. I just know we need to make sure that the residents understand that it's not going to look finished until 2027.
As far as blacktop.
Everything's done.
Mhm.
Correct.
So we're still gonna have a little bit of a lip on the curb then?
No, because well,
It'll
there will,
be
slight.
down just a hair, but it's
Yeah,
not
but they don't
anything
have
that
to know
anybody
right,
would
but yes.
notice, yeah. Unless you notice a 3/4 of an inch.
Well, no, I think about our residents who are elderly walking, is what I think about. They may not notice it.
Still a lot of them park on the road?
There's not much parking
Are
on
you
the
talking
road
about like in front of, in the driveway area?
No, it'll be
It
the
would be
curb to
actually
the
out
asphalt,
on the
it'll be
road.
like this.
And that's what I mean, so the only place they would ever experience that is if they were walking out parking on the road. Because if they're parking in their driveway, or if they're parking in the alley, they would never experience that.
For flow line, like on Westfall Fault, there's at least a half inch of flow line there where the curb is higher, entrances is higher.
Oh,
just-
yeah,
Just so the water keeps flowing down, so
Yeah, you're not,
another 1/4 inch,
yeah.
Okay.
yes, it is still public.
And actually, where you depress it, that's up 1.25 inches.
Mhm.
Because we're making sure the water's staying in the curb line.
Correct.
So whenever anybody walks into their driveway, you've always got that bump, or drives into their driveway, you always have
And
that
then they'll
bump.
have a 6-inch curb as well.
Yeah. But I mean where you depress the curb.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
So that the thing will be less than what the depressed curb area actually is.
I just know residents are gonna wanna know why it doesn't look finished.
Mhm.
And I think all of us knowing that, hey, we're waiting for free money from ODOT
Yeah,
to put
yeah.
that finished top coat on,
Mhm.
makes a lot of sense.
And it also actually makes it a lot nicer because whenever you're doing trenches and you're trying to utilize part of the road to come a year later and do the overall,
It
makes
settles.
everything nicer,
Mhm.
yes.
I don't know, Aaron, if you're gonna talk about it, is there a reason why they didn't get started today?
They started mobilizing, he was trying to get where they want to mobilize equipment, he was trying to get that buttoned up.
Okay.
As I've said in the past, in the letters I sent out, 80% of the time that road will be usable to in-town locals. They will be in tomorrow to start taking trees out of the curb line. Now, they very well may work on half the road at one time, and not the other half. The whole goal of closing the road down and putting a detour up right away for the whole road was to get your local truck traffic that we don't want to go through town any other way.
Sure.
Then the detour is to use that way.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to committee reports. Craig, if you want.
You guys done with me?
Never.
Alright, well, like I said, we'll know on this other funding come here in about a month and a half.
Mhm.
Thanks, Craig.
Alright, see you guys.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Craig.
Sarah, am I the only committee with a report?
Yes.
Okay. So the ad hoc committee for the park dedication, celebration, we met on June 10th. Actually, Nathan and Sarah and Aaron and I kind of had a organizational kind of thing right after council meeting last month. And Nathan and Aaron and I then met and did some brainstorming. And ultimately, that resulted in inviting, I think we invited 15 different community leaders from Waynesfield and the Waynesfield Goshen area, including businesses, churches, historical society. We got representation from the library, the school, Waynesfield Goshen Area Community Foundation, the American Legion, Fire and Rescue, the Mississippi Garden Club, Community Development Team, and the Lions Club's also going to be involved. They just couldn't attend that meeting, this first meeting. So the committee met and designed a charge, and the charge for the committee is to organize, plan, and conduct an event/celebration to dedicate the naming of the park to the Waynesfield Veterans Memorial Park, to commemorate the park enhancements, and an event that encourages community participation with emphasis on the youth of the Waynesfield Goshen area. So that was what the committee kind of decided its charge would be, and I and Nathan and Aaron and Sarah were there, and they certainly can chime in if they want. I was very excited about the engagement and the enthusiasm of the people that were there. They're excited. They want to make it an all-day event. They want to make it a celebration, not just a call in people and do a little giddy and go home. They want to try to do, as you can tell if you look at the minutes, they want to have food vendors. They want to have tents. They want to have the churches want to do some things for the youth. There's a lot of things out there, a lot of ideas right now going on. I did meet after this meeting with the Waynesfield Goshen Area Community Foundation to establish a 501c to handle donations. Sarah was able to investigate funding, and obviously, or not so obviously, we can't use any of the village monies, any of the tax dollars to fund anything for this event. So we're setting up a 501c fund through the Waynesfield Goshen Area Community Foundation. I'm pleased to report that we have a verbal commitment of $1,000 from the Mississippi Garden Club already. And so that's exciting. We've got some money to put in the 501c. One of the things after I met with the board of the Waynesfield Goshen Area Community Foundation, they want me to complete a form so that they don't set up specific funds, but they earmark money to come in, and they need a contact person. And they wanted me to be that. I just want to make sure, as your designee for the council, that everybody's okay with that. If there's any problems with that, I'd like for you to speak up now, or I'll send that form over to Martha Manchester and get that set up. So unless there's some questions or concerns, I did run it by Sarah. And Sarah, I don't know, did you just look at it, or did you talk to the attorney, or?
What you sent me?
Yeah.
Like, since it has nothing to do with the the Village of Waynesfield, it's just something that you need to fill out,
Okay.
because it has nothing to do with us. So, yeah, I emailed you back.
Yeah, you did. I'm just trying
Oh,
to
okay.
communicate to the rest of the council members what we discussed.
Thank you.
Yes, I am aware of that. So,
Are you okay with doing that?
yeah, it doesn't, I will not touch any money. What it does is it makes me the contact that if, the committee decides they wanna, rent tents or chairs, then I would contact Roger Sanders, who's the treasurer for the foundation, and say, Mr. Sanders, this is how much it would cost, and he will mail a check. I will never, and I told everyone, I do not wanna touch any money at all. Money will all go to the 501c, and the 501c will make all payments to whatever we decide we need to do inside the committee. So that keeps it clean in terms of donations. And the other thing that does is if an individual decides they want to donate, it's a 501c recognized charitable donation, and it is tax deductible. So that makes it nice for any residents or individuals or entities that want to donate to that.
I know you're early in the ground floor here. Did you talk at all what something like this might cost?
No.
Okay, I know it's early.
No, we have another meeting scheduled, our next meeting, I believe, is August 14th at 11. I think, we're still trying to flesh out exactly what we want it to look like.
Yeah.
It was a brainstorming, get people revved up, exciting,
Sure.
this is neat. I was pleasantly surprised when, I met with the Waynesville Goshen, Area Community Foundation, one of their members, when I said we got $790,000, he said, someone said that to me, and I said, that can't be right, we got $79,000, and they went, no, the village received $790,000, we were shocked. So it's a best kept secret right now, we need to publicize how blessed we are, yes, to have received this money from two different organizations, and the work that Nathan and community development team did, and the people on that team. It's exciting times. So we're moving forward. I'm excited about it, and I'll report as we move along. Thank you. Unless anybody has questions. Thank you.
Police report.
Council has my report. The majority of what's in my report I will talk more about in old business, and then I will also talk under letter C in new business.
Okay, village administrator.
Only thing I have to add, other than what is on the report that council has seen, just reiterating that the road being closed for now 100 days instead of 10 days, that was a oops on the people putting up the signage.
clarifying that.
Yeah. They worked at today getting stuff mobilized and getting that area defined to them. That portion of the street very well will be open up majority of the time. The contractor and the engineers and myself all agreed to go ahead and put it out right away. That way the truck traffic that we get through town goes ahead and uses that detour as it's supposed to be through ODOT. But tomorrow there could be partial road closures. They might close the whole thing, but they're going to start taking the trees down in tree lawn, is what their work is for tomorrow. The only other thing I want to touch on is the community cleanup day that we had.
I'm sorry.
I thought we had a really good turnout. We went through 3 40-yard trash dumpsters, and we had a scrap metal dumpster there that will actually get paid for what everything went in that and was taken back. Bob and Tim were there for all day. I was there for a portion of the day, and it come in slugs. There was either 3 or 4 cars, or we actually had time to sip on the water because it was hot. Other than that, if there's any questions when we get to the East Walpole Street for the OWDA loans and things like that, we can touch on them there.
I have a question.
Sure thing.
I noticed you mowed some of the field. Is that in preparation for the park?
Yeah, so we had time. I wanted it to get, it's not measured by any means, but that's kind of the idea of what the playground and the splash pad area will take up.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that, but I just wanted to add.
Yeah, I want to get that knocked down, and that way we can keep maintaining it, because as soon as we get through all of the paperwork on it, and whichever company can be there to start first, it looks like something, you can see the lay of the land that way.
Okay. Thanks, Mayor.
Yep.
Aaron, can I ask, in the park committee too, clarification, did the park committee, or did you guys decide to replace the benches on the walking path with, so that all the benches in the park are all gonna be the same, or you're just gonna leave the concrete ones?
For right now, we're just gonna leave those there, since there's actually something there.
Okay,
I think the thought kind of was with the park committee was, wait, see once if and what money's available toward the end, and then if there's other thoughts with doing the memorial at each one, kind of coordinate with that.
yeah. And I'm not sure how to report on that, because it's not really part of what's going on with council, but when we go
Mhm.
forward with that, so.
Yeah, before we would do anything, we would get with you guys and find out what the thoughts are there.
We're in the process of establishing a committee for that, so,
Okay.
community committee, so, okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else, Brian? Okay, mayor's report, there was $222 was deposited into general fund from mayor's court account for the month of June. Okay, old business, code enforcement.
Two of the three properties, 205 West Mulberry Street and 404 North Westminster Street, that were abated, had people living at the properties. Both property owners were apologetic and compliant, with the cleanups going very well. The two property owners asked how much the cleanup was going to cost, and I explained that the village will receive an invoice from Russell Site Solutions. Once we get that, we will then send the property owner a bill from the village, and then they have 30 days to pay it. If it's not paid within 30 days, then the amount would be added to the property's taxes. In both cases, the individuals understood. The third property is a vacant property, so there was no one to talk with there. Just 2 days after we abated one of the properties, however, we did have a domestic violence case involving Children's Services that I was involved in. This case is actually a prime example as to why Solicitor Bay wants to review our processes further until some legal matters can be rectified while minimizing the village's liability. In your packets, you will see the before and after pictures taken, the date the properties were abated, so the morning before they started and then after they were finished. So council is aware, the entire process from the time the initial notice was generated until the cleanup was completed was approximately 10 to 20 hours per property spread out over about 3 to 4 months. None of these properties requested an appeal before the Zoning Board of Appeals, but had that happened, then obviously there would have been a substantial amount of time added to the process.
How many months, Nathan?
3 to 4 months. Yeah, we
And
started
that
back in
was,
the beginning.
that 10 to 20 hours was your time, or
Yeah.
time and cleanup?
That would be my time. I was there during cleanup. It was an all-day event. The three properties we started at 7:45 and we ended about 5 p.m. So that 10 to 20 hours was the time cumulative. The contractor was the same time that I was spending, so.
Do you know how, from a time frame, so it took 3 to 4 months from initiation of the identification that this property is in violation
Correct.
to rectifying the problem?
Correct.
Okay.
Nathan, the company you used, or we used,
Yeah.
where are they from?
Walpock, I believe. Aaron had a contact with them, but they're out of Walpock. They did a really good job. They specialize in doing property cleanup.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah, they worked really well with me. They were happy to have law enforcement there.
Sure.
We didn't have any problems, thankfully, but they said they've had some situations where they had to call in law enforcement after the fact, so the guys were pretty relieved that somebody was there. So it worked out really well. Like I said, the two property owners that I spoke with, they kind of watched the whole process play out. The one property owner came home halfway through, but they were very understanding. They recognized that it was an issue. They recognized they got all the notices. They had some excuses or reasons why the properties got that way, but realistically they understood and knew that we were just doing our job. So that I was pleasantly surprised with the outcome.
And our neighbors,
several neighbors are pleasantly happy. We had several through the cleanup process. We had neighbors from all three properties stop and comment that they appreciated the efforts and it's about time, all those kind of things. But it's been well received and honestly well noticed. When we had them in town, we had folks that were kind of recording the action and driving by and walking by and just kind of watching it all play out. So, it has made an impact on the community, because people were definitely watching.
Well, I'd say they definitely did a commendable job. The after pictures of the three properties.
Yeah, and before we left one property, they asked me, is this good? And if not, what else do we need to do? That type of thing. So, I mean, they communicated very well. The owner, is he the owner? The owner of Russell Site Solutions was was there. There was a group of 4 that worked, he worked the heavy machinery because we did on at least one of the properties, we might have on this other one at North Westminster, but on West Mulberry, we needed the heavy machinery to clean up. It took a substantial amount of dumpster work and stuff like that. So, but it went well. It went well.
It's gonna be expensive, then.
So,
I commend the guy back in the trailer down over. I was coming home and they were doing that and I thought, what's going on? And I realized, so, yeah.
yeah, he actually does code enforcement for the city of St. Mary's. So I got to talking to him a little bit, and so he was aware of kind of the processes, and so that was helpful too, because if there's any questions, he's like, well, this is kind of what we do in St. Mary's. You don't have to do this, but this is kind of the process. And I'm like, okay, very good.
Well,
Do you know if, when they bill, if they do a breakdown of what they do?
Yeah, they'll break down per property, and it'll be itemized, so each property owner will receive their individual. It won't just be a collective bill. I talked to them about that.
No, but when we know this much for mowing the grass, this much for hauling.
That's a good question. I don't know.
It might be good to do that.
Yeah.
Based on our discussion earlier.
Sure. I'll defer to Aaron. Have you worked with them in the past on?
Yeah, they did the garage.
Oh, that's right.
Back here,
That's right.
I looked at the bill back then, but I don't know. And that was pretty much just taking the structure down and removing it, but that had heavy machinery and dumpster.
Yeah.
They had both of those, and they had man hours in lawn mowing and trimming, so.
When we get the bill, we'll look at it, and if it's something we need to ask them to itemize
I'm sure you can itemize it down.
Yeah, absolutely. That shouldn't be an issue.
that would kind of help us in the future, I think.
Well, it does, and it goes towards some of the things that are already in motion too.
Yeah.
And I think it has set a precedent and established that we're sincere.
Well, the interesting thing is, I've seen some movement within the community with vehicles that weren't running, with other properties that needed some maintenance, and the interesting thing is we didn't do it all in one sector of town. It's kind of spread out a little bit, and so lots of people noticed, and so they do see that, okay, the police car's there, you got a contractor there, we're going to start moving, and it ultimately, if people take care of their own properties, that's what we want. It encourages a community mindset, and it cleans things up, and it was right after the community cleanup, so no one could use the excuse that they didn't have a mechanism to throw their things away. So the timing was really good.
And the majority of I was there at the cleanup day, those weren't the folks that take advantage of
They
that.
were not.
But the other couple properties that got cleaned up prior to all this, that shows that there's progress moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I have a question, because we have some other items on our agenda in that way. Where does that need to be talked about at a different time?
So currently we are, if you're talking specifically about code enforcement, property maintenance enforcement, currently the attorney is researching some issues, and we'll have some recommendations going forward. So right now we're going to wait to hear from the attorney, and then we'll proceed accordingly.
Well, Nathan, thank you for your work. I know it was a lot of time but, like I said in our previous, we have a lot to be proud of in this community. I mean, we've got a new school, we're gonna have new roadways, all 4 quadrants is gonna be new. People coming into the village are gonna see curbs and gutters and new roads and streets. We're gonna have a park that is beautiful, and we want the rest of the community to reflect that, and your work on that has been vital. Thank you.
Well, it's been helpful that the community's been responsive too. That's been, because obviously it takes more than just one person. So, the community has done well, and they should be commended for, activity breeds activity. And sometimes we have to set that precedent, and then it kind of gets other people's attention. So I actually had a conversation with a person right before the meeting who reached out and said, hey, I know you guys are doing some enforcement on cleaning up things, and I've had some health issues, but I'm going to trim back the bushes and things that are coming onto the sidewalk. I'm going to get rid of the vehicle that isn't licensed right now. I'm going to do those things, and so that was helpful. And then there's some other things that are moving on that hopefully you guys will see some changes before the summer's out as well. So. But we have started to see, in the past, trying to communicate with folks, it's been very abrasive, and people have pushed back because it's been an abrasive approach, and so by having a standard protocol to follow and say, look, we're not just picking on you, and having that conversation, conversation's huge. We're not just picking on you, we got all these other things going on. It's helped. And it's not going to be 100% all the time. Certainly there are going to be properties that we have issues with, but again, I think a collective effort, and as this process evolves and moves forward, the collective cohesiveness is still very important, and I think we can make some real change.
Well, I think that's kind of evident on the other side of the community cleanup day, as much activity we had back there.
Yeah, that's a hugely popular event. I didn't bring anything out, but I was on the walking path and went by and saw the line of people waiting to put things in, and every year it seems like it's about like
growing. Yeah, people kind of taking part. This is clean our property up.
It's a bit, well, that's
And
great.
everybody was grateful that the town
Yeah,
does that.
everyone said thank you.
That's awesome.
Great thing you're doing.
Yeah,
It didn't rain, but it was,
There,
last year it rained.
It rained a little
a
bit.
little bit. There were people outside the village that were a little jealous though, because several had reached out and said, well, I've got a Waynesfield address. No, you don't. You do, but you don't, are not in Waynesfield proper. But they're like, well, it makes the whole community look better. And I get what you're saying, but you want to throw some money towards it, then maybe we can talk.
Someone asked me, and I said, if you have a Waynesfield utility bill,
Yeah.
I think that may be it. I directed them your way
Yeah.
to check, but I said, yeah, I think you have a utility bill. Although we do have people who have utility bills outside the village limits.
Yeah.
So that may not be exactly accurate either.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we could talk to the township, Wayne Township, they could have a day.
Yeah, I mean, I know Westminster through their township, they had
I know,
community
Westminster
cleanup day.
did, yeah.
I mean, it could turn into a partnership potentially, maybe next year to look at doing
It's not
something
on
like
the
that.
same day.
Just not on the same day.
It's a long day.
It would be a long day. We need more dumpsters for sure.
Maybe that would help with the dumpster fee too, if they knew they had, like, I don't know.
Well, we let the township kind of take over though.
I think we got a good thing going.
Yeah.
Going.
Definitely, yeah.
It's created.
If the township wants to come in, then that's fine, but
They can use our idea in September or
Yeah, right.
April, whatever day they want.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good look for the village. It's generally the week. It's always been the week after the community garage sales. I'm not really sure how many garage sales there really were this year, but
Wasn't that many.
there wasn't many. But it's still it gives people opportunity because they're home that weekend for the holiday to get stuff ready for the following weekend. So it's good timing and yeah, it's been well. And I think we probably had a dumpster full of scraps that could be used to offset.
Yeah, I think it was smaller this year than it was last year.
Okay, yeah.
So that helps offset the cost of the three trash dumpsters.
Gosh, yes.
Right, so that's important.
Well, I think every year the garage sales is going down.
Yeah,
Well, we don't do, I remember the first year they did it, there was a huge advertisement push.
yeah.
There was a lot of things that council at that time did to make it a big deal. And really, it's kind of, in terms of our involvement of publicizing and saying, hey, we've kind of slacked off on that.
Not only that,
But
but
it was kind of in our utility bills.
well, realistically, garage sailing in general has gone down with the advent of social media. People are selling things, a lot of people had garage sales, posted items for sale on social media, and a lot of it was sold before they even opened their garage sale. So
That's
they're
true,
selling
too.
it online, so we're just kind of changed from that perspective.
And a lot of the communities have their own community club or beautification club
Yeah.
that takes that on,
Sure.
and they blow it up,
Right.
and, I just, there's other communities that club makes maps
Yes.
and highlights where the sales are, and then the people that are having garage sales pay a minimal amount to have those maps paid. And
We used to have maps up here, and it was done here, but I mean, again, somebody had to call and say they wanted their address listed, and again, it's just over time, a lot of times social media, I can advertise, I remember a time at the stoplight, you would see on the telephone pole 14 signs, you don't see that now because it's all advertised differently now.
And most of the signs this year, I think, with people out in the country anyhow.
Yes, yeah.
Move on with old business. We have an ordinance amending section 500, paragraph 1 and 2, Board of Zoning Appeals of the Village of Waynesfield, or Waynesfield zoning ordinance 23-10-1 and 2 to declare an emergency. Can I get a first motion to declare an emergency?
We've had the first
Okay,
reading.
okay, this will be
Yeah.
the emergency second reading, yeah.
Second. Is there a reason we're doing it under an emergency? And not having 3 readings? Just out of curiosity?
I think the point last month was to have it set so that as we move forward, if there's something that comes up with the BZA, that section is worded correctly. And maybe not so much on the, vehicles and stuff like that as far as that, as much as for variances and things like that.
If we go ahead and pass this as emergency, that gonna help us much before, because sister's working on some stuff.
I'll be honest with you, can I look at that, Deb, real quick?
It's just establishing the zone of board of appeals, because we
This-
didn't have one.
Okay, so this wouldn't affect anything that the solicitor is doing as far as,
Code enforcement.
code, correct.
Okay,
Yeah, this is just allowing, yeah, if somebody does make an appeal before the zoning board, you have that language cleaned up to where you can do that, since we do have a board now in place. So, thank you so much.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 25-6-2, an ordinance amending sections 500, paragraph 1 and 2, Board of Zoning Appeals of Waynesfield zoning ordinance 23-10-1, and to declare an emergency.
We have to make a motion to declare an emergency first. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Need a second?
Second.
Bach, oh, sorry, he's absent. Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Wolke.
Yes.
Okay. Now can I get a motion to adopt resolution 25-6-2?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 25-6-2, an ordinance amending sections 500, paragraphs 1 and 2, Board of Zoning Appeals, the Waynesfield zoning ordinance 23-10-1.
Can I get a second?
Yes.
Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Wolke.
Yes.
Okay, any other old business? Okay, let's move on into new business. An ordinance authorizing the raising of bond for the physical officer in a required emergency. Can I get a motion to declare an emergency?
I have a question. Would this be a permanent raising of that amount, or would we, once we get done with this grant?
Once we get done with it, we can do
Lower it.
Yes, and I believe, it'd have to be at the next, cycle, which I think is in June, next June, obviously this June just passed. I had an email from them, I'm sorry, but no, we can put it right back down.
Okay. Make a motion, we declare an emergency to adopt an ordinance authorizing the raising of the bond for the physical officer from current $50,000 to $113,600.
Can you get a second?
I'll second that. Sorry, yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Wolf?
Yes.
Make a motion, we adopt ordinance 25-7-1, ordinance raising the bond of the physical officer from $50,000 to $113,600.
Get a second?
I'll second it.
Ball?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Wolfie?
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance 25-7-2, an ordinance authorizing accepting the capital improvement community park recreational conservation project pass-through grant agreement between the Village of Waynesfield and the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and declare emergency. Can I get a motion to declare emergency?
Make a motion, we declare an emergency to adopt ordinance 25-7-2, ordinance authorizing and accepting the capital improvement grant community park recreations conservation project pass-through grant.
Ball?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Wolfie?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to adopt ordinance 25-7-2?
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 25-7-2, ordinance authorizing and accepting the capital improvement community park recreations conservative project pass-through grant.
Get a second?
Second.
Ball? Yes. Hudson?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Wolfie?
Yes.
Ordinance 25-7-3, an ordinance to amend ordinance 24-10-1 to amend the annual appropriation ordinance and to declare an emergency. Can I get a motion to declare an emergency?
Can somebody explain exactly what's going on here?
Yeah, in years past, monies appropriated for the police department included a buffer in the event that unexpected costs occurred. That way, the appropriations would never have to be amended. However, this year we tried to trim any extra monies from our appropriations, as this was an expectation that has been made pretty clear. Most of the police department's costs are fixed, making it fairly easy to budget. However, from time to time, costs have increased. And while we try to estimate any and all increases into the following year's budget, there are unforeseen circumstances that do come up or the estimate is too low. That's the situation we run into this year. Inflation has increased our costs of doing business in every category within the village, and the police department is not immune from this. That is why the appropriations need to be amended on behalf of the police department. Biggest expenditure changes are as follows. First, computer upgrades had to be done this year before the Windows 10 support ends, resulting in all the computers in the village needing to be replaced, which includes all of the police department computers. Second, our cybersecurity costs have more than doubled this year compared to 2024. Third, our cruiser camera and body camera system contracts renewed at a higher rate, which we realized would happen, but inflation raised the price higher than we anticipated. And lastly, our leads access, which is what allows us to function as a police department, increased 60%. All of these expenditures occurred after the appropriations were set and approved, so that's why we are where we're at now.
I have a question, and I don't want to be offensive, but I have seen the police car running, and you're not there, and I'm just wondering why that has to be.
So there are multiple reasons. The police cruiser has a computer in it and has a radio system in it that if you shut that off, then it will disconnect from the network and the radio won't work, simply put. So that's why it does run. So we have an issue, and we've talked about this in previous meetings, about the Marks radio system having terrible reception over here. And without getting super technical, there's a signal enhancer called a repeater inside the cruiser.
I had that for my phone.
Yeah, and so the repeater, the only time it works is when the cruiser's running. If that is shut off, I don't have any reception, and dispatch can't get me, and I can't get out to them.
That's
So,
a
yeah,
great
so
explanation.
that's why.
So it's a security issue for you.
Very much so.
As a solo.
Well, even for us.
Yeah, very much so.
That way, if you have to go fast, you don't have to start.
Well, I mean, to some point that's true, but realistically, if they call me on the radio on something urgent and I don't hear it, then they sometimes don't have time to call my cell phone to say, hey, we're trying to reach you on the radio.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it as a waste of gas, but your
Yeah.
explanation makes that very clear.
And to be clear, our cruisers are designed for idling, so they are manufactured in a way that, I mean, you obviously still have fuel consumption, but it's at a more efficient rate than a stock vehicle would have from an idling perspective.
Which actually brings up a question, Aaron. We had some discussion at some point about the possibility of Auglaize County putting in a tower and us providing some land. Has there been any movement on that from the
Yeah.
county?
I have heard back from Erica Preston, and this has been a couple months ago, I think I might have said on the council meeting about it. It is finally off to the state,
Oh, okay.
so it's
Well,
out of the
if things
commissioner
don't
office.
move quickly, I
The
understand.
sheriff is pushing it. I've met with him regularly on it, and the red tape is pretty frustrating because the sheriff recognized it not only affects the police department, it affects fire and EMS. It affects the sheriff's office because what happens is the closest, we are in a very unique location, again, without getting super technical, but our cell service, the radios operate kind of on the cell towers. So what happens is, since we don't have a close tower, sometimes
He just rolled up the windows inside.
sometimes we are hitting off of the Kenton police, or Kenton, the Hardin County Tower, the Bell Fountain Tower, which we largely hit off of. We very rarely hit off of the Auglaize County Tower, which is the tower that we should be hitting off of, and then sometimes the Lima Tower. When the towers are full, then what happens is we get a busy signal, just like the old time phone when you try to call and you get a busy signal. That's a problem, because usually if you wait 2 or 3 seconds, it will go to the next tower, but if you're trying to get out in a hurry, you can't get out. And without that signal booster, that repeater that I have in my cruiser, oftentimes the deputies will come over here and they don't have repeaters in their cruisers. And I'll be standing there with a call on them and dispatch is trying to reach them and they're not hearing it, but I am. And they can't respond because there's no cell service. So, so this tower will help tremendously in that fact. You know, that's not to say that we would remove the repeater necessarily from the cruiser once that happens, because you still could potentially run into a dead area. We're in a valley, and so the hope is that this new tower will take care of that issue. But if there's a major event going on, it's going to bog the tower down and
That's
go
gonna
through that.
happen regardless.
It is.
Regardless.
Yep.
Okay, so we have on the floor a request for a motion to adopt ordinance 24-10-2, an ordinance to amend the annual appropriations ordinance. I need someone to make a motion to declare an emergency.
I make a motion, we declare an emergency for ordinance 2025-73 to amend appropriations.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Call the roll, please.
Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
I can't vote.
Miller.
No, can I vote?
Yeah,
Yes.
you can.
Okay, yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Wolf.
Yes.
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2025-73 to amend the appropriations for the police.
Can I get a second, please?
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Ball, Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Wolf.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to adopt resolution 25-7-1, resolution designating the council president as signatory for the Osgood Bank in the absence of the mayor for the village? And I need someone to declare an emergency
Can
first.
we, what is the need at this point?
I believe this is, if the mayor is absent for any reason, currently there's only one, he's the only person that can sign any checks or sign anything.
Okay, all right.
So this is designating whoever the council president is as a secondary signature, am I saying that right, Sarah?
Yes.
A secondary signature agent, so that when, and if Mayor Loom is out, then we have somebody that can do that signature.
That's clear.
So I need,
I'm sorry, I had to interrupt. Just so council's aware, you may get another one of these in the future for mayor's court as well, because there are certain reports that have to be signed, and if the mayor's unable or something, we have to report that to the state, and that may be coming as well.
I make a motion that we,
okay,
I make a
we're at,
motion-
so I need a motion to declare an emergency.
I make a motion that we
have a motion.
have an emergency for resolution number 25-7-1 for, signature for the bank.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yeah.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walty.
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion to adopt a resolution 25-7-3?
I make a motion that we adopt the resolution number 25-7-1 in regard to, signatures for the bank.
Get a second?
I'll second it.
Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yeah.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walty.
Yes.
Resolution 25-7-2, a resolution authorizing the village administrator to apply for, accept, and enter into the Ohio Water Development Authority agreement on behalf of the Village of Waynesfield for design and construction of water treatment and distribution lines, and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan, and to declare an emergency. Can I get a motion to declare an emergency?
Can Aaron just enlighten me?
Yeah, that's what Craig was here for.
Okay.
Everything that Craig talked about as far as the funding for,
Okay,
will
that's
come
what I
out of water
wondered.
and sewer, that's what that is.
Okay,
That is,
thank
yeah.
you. I make a motion, we adopt the resolution number 25-7-2 in, as an emergency, for the water treatment.
Should declare an emergency first.
I think, well, I thought I said emergency.
Yeah,
You did,
You're
yeah.
fine.
You did, you're right.
You're good.
Okay, get a second?
I'll second that.
Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walty.
All right, can I get a motion to accept resolution 25-7-2?
I make a motion that we adopt resolution number 25-7-2 in regards to the water treatment.
Get a second?
Second.
Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yeah.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walty.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 25-7-3, and a resolution authorizing the village administrator to apply for, accept, and enter into an Ohio Water Development Authority agreement on behalf of the Village of Waynesfield for design and construction of the wastewater and storm facilities, and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan to declare an emergency. Can I get a motion to declare an emergency?
I do have a question. What's it mean designating a dedicated repayment source? What's that mean?
Basically, saying we'll repay the loan.
Okay. So it's nothing outside the village, it's just us? Okay, thank you.
I make a motion, we, adopt an emergency on resolution number 25-7-3 regarding the
Oh, I
storm
see, it
waste.
says sewer fund.
Can I get a second?
Second.
As far as
Close.
Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walty.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to adopt resolution 25-7-3?
I make a motion, we adopt resolution number 25-7-3 regarding the storm water facility.
Okay, can we get a second?
Yes.
You and all the talk if your my voice is going.
Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walty.
Yes.
Okay, any other new business? All right, motion to adjourn,
So moved.
second?
Second.
I thought we'd be there a
Paul?
long time. Well, yes,
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yippers.
Miller,
Yes.
Wolfie.
Yeah.
and we beat the rain, it's just,
Road's a little wet out there.